workshop, this experience, is an exploration into partnership. And since this program is put on by the partnership, we thought it might be important to talk about what does it take to actually have partnership.
Alicia Latson is a true presenter. Not every time you get to sit in a room with somebody who's presenting for 4.5 hours and feel fully engaged at the end of it.
And say, hey, I have this great idea about partnership. I want to share how we can be better partners. How might they see this great idea from the top as?
She's got a ton of energy.
The stuff is good stuff. And we think, yes, good stuff. All right. All right.
What I also really like is that the fact that she takes complicated or somewhat complicated situations and she applies them to real world.
So the tune is an opportunity to create a setting in which all members of the system can become clear about how the system is experienced from many different vantage points. So today was like being in an organization theme park.
So I think that Alicia Latson is amazing.
Can you see that? Once we transform how we are inside organizations and our roles, guess what happens to the organization? It changes.
I think that she's incredibly motivational. I felt so empowered after her workshop.
If we can ease the condition of other people's worlds, that allows them to help them ease our condition.
So feel very uplifting, encouraging, very motivating.
My job is to create capacity in the organization. My job is not to clean up other people's messes. My job is to create capacity by coaching and facilitating other people's effectiveness. Can you see that? Can you see that as a shift? My job isn't to do their work.
I feel that she has an explicit way of putting across the very great tips to building the organization in a partnership level.
What I'd like for you to do is to look back over the afternoon and think about what are you taking away from this experience? What is it that you want to be sure that you remember? And then what are some of the things that you're going to take home and apply back at work?
When I go back to work, I'm going to apply the communication tactics as far as letting everyone know at every position within the organization of how they can empower themselves.
What is the experience like of hearing these other perspectives, and what is it doing for you? As a middle, you go out to do something nice for the customers, but instead of gratitude from the customer, you get attitude from the customer.
I'm going to bring back to Stop and Shop the thought process that happiness comes from within and leadership starts at all levels within the organization.
To really share information about what's happening in the organization, to really work together to bring that intel, to solve problems, to support one another, to coach one another, to explore new possibilities about what we can create. When middles can have those types of conversations, it's a huge service to the organization. Transform how we are in the roles that we play in organizations, guess what happens to organizations? It changes.
Also learned today is that real change within an organization begins with yourself. And
forgive others for anything that they did or did not do.
But I'm also going to provide my associates with some tools in which they can go about doing this.
How many of you would say that even though this was a simulated experience, how many of you would say that in some cases it did mirror what life is like for you in real life? How many of you say that it did feel there was something familiar about it? Okay.
And I just can't say enough about it.
Every continent, in every culture, in every language has engaged in this workshop. And what I can tell you is what happens here happens everywhere.
Integrate some really great steps working within my department on a more inclusive level and being able to see more things in a visionary perspective.
It's the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the seventh a time, but you don't stop because why?
That the organization could then also benefit from the work that I'm doing with the company.
We don't see the role that we play. We don't see our response to the condition. Can you see that? Like, all we see is that there's the condition, there's us, and then we're having this experience. That's what we see. Door A is predictable, but it's not inevitable. Door B is not predictable, but it is a human possibility.
So I will definitely work to not be torn.
What you do is to tell the truth. Tell the truth about what life is like for you. And so you want to illuminate. You want to share, just like you would with a best friend, around what is the experience of being in your position in the system. And we're responsible and accountable for it all.
And to still have my independence and offer my ideas.
Right here in these chairs. Isn't that great news?